All right, now we're recording. All right, sales training, Trophy Point Realty Group, Thursday, May 26th, 2022. Here we go. All right, sales. We are not really in the business of sales. Any kind of sales is trying to meet it, needs to an end. Right? You need to buy a car. They're going to help you buy a car. Right now, it's called the sales process, but I mean, in real estate, I don't consider ourselves salespeople in real estate at all. But I've had moderate to in-depth sales training with some of my other jobs. I was in sales for 10 years, and so I understand the human psyche that goes along with sales, why people do things. If you're really good at sales, you know, the adage, you can sell ice to an Eskimo. If you're really good at it, you can manipulate people any way you want. And we know people that we have worked with in this office who are very good at sales, outside of this office, very good at sales, and they make a killing on, you know, homes. And I mean, if you're honed in and you know how to do it, you can be very good. So a couple things that go with it: the sales process, right? The sales process, depending on who you talk to or whatever books, right? It's either a 5 or 7 step process. So first step is prospecting. You got to know who you're talking to, right? In real estate, we're, going door knocking, sending out flyers, doing marketing. We're prospecting for clients, prospecting for sales, prospecting for buyers. We're prospecting. Step 1 is prospecting. Step 2 is preparation. Once you've prospected and you have a client, whether it be through a lead, now you have to prepare for that. What are they looking for? How much, what size home, what neighborhoods? That's a preparation phase of, the sales model. Then third is approach. You got to meet with them. You got to set the meeting. So you've identified them, prospecting, you've done some preparation. Now you got to meet. The success rate of an in-person meeting is phenomenal. You have to set a meeting, whether that's coffee, whether that's lunch, whether that's coming to the office. Hey, let's meet. I think Rich said like the last data we had was like 88% of all clients just go with the first person that they talk to. So if 9 out of 10 times, if you're the first person in the door, you're going to get that client, you need to do everything you can to try and get that client, get that meeting, set it up. If that's after hours, if it's a weekend, if it's whatever the case may be. Now, I kind of do it to a fault where I will stop what I'm doing and go meet with somebody, which is good. I get a lot of clients, but then that's bad because I get distracted and I don't finish what I'm doing and I'm all over the place. And I have a lot of clients, but I can't follow through with the existing ones because I get a phone call. I set a meeting. I'm like, yeah, I can meet at 10 o'clock. Let's go. And I don't plan out my day, but time is of the essence in real estate. Whether it's an offer, time is of the essence. Whether it's meeting a new client, time is of the essence. People today are immediate gratification. If somebody texts you or call you, they want a phone call back in like 5 minutes. We're all guilty of it. And if you don't, they may call somebody else. And when you call them back at the end of the day, they might be gone. I mean, you had that happen to you a while ago. I've had it happen to me. Rich, you've had it happen to you. And it's going to happen, right? Every client lead, every prospect is not going to pan out to a close. We want it to be, but it's just not going to. But approach, you got to set the meeting. Then there's presentation part of it, right? This is where you sit down with them and you're explaining what it is that we have for them. What's our offer? What's our value proposition? Why are they using us instead of Zillow, instead of Redfin, instead of any of the iBuying things online? Why are they using us? And that's the conversation. The face-to-face, I was like face-to-face, can be over the phone. I try and avoid text and email because you can't really get your point across. It's hard to do sales long distance. You got to do it, person to person. So the presentation part of it, right? Step 5 in the sales process is handling objections. Everybody's going to have an objection, right? A lot of objections are smoke screens. The real objection is not what they probably tell you up front. And I'm going to go over that here in depth in a little bit. Handle objection. The 6th step is closing. You got to close. You got to ask for the business, right? ABC, always be closing is the adage in sales. If you're not asking for the business, there you go. Coffee is for closes. If you're not asking for business, you're not going to get the business. Nobody's just going to randomly come up to Tucker and be like, you look like you do real estate. Can you sell me a house? Like, no, that's not going to happen. No, it's just not, right? You have to earn the right. And I'm going to go over that. How do you know when you've earned the right to ask for the business? And not all interactions are you going to feel like you've earned the right for the business. And that's okay. You have to have a follow-up, which is the last step, follow-up. Last step of the sales process is follow-up. Without follow-up, I can't tell you how many tens of millions of dollars of real estate. I mean, I can show you a book that thick of clients that I have not followed up on. And I just gone, and they've gone to someone else, and I see their name as $300,000, $400,000, $700,000 sale, and I kick myself because I did not have good follow-up. So you got to have follow-up. So you have prospecting, preparation, approach, presentation, handling of the objections, closing, and then follow-up. And really, follow-up in our business is probably one of the most important things. Rich has stats on referral business. 96%. If you get a referral, if you get a lead from a referral or a repeat buyer, I mean, that's almost a slam dunk as far as having a client, having a lead. So like, why wouldn't you want to do that extra follow-up? You're going to be using that company, Sam, to do some follow-up on your behalf, which is good. But follow-up. So those are the 7 steps of the sales process. When we're talking about sales in itself, right? The human psyche, everybody, I've used this analogy before. So Zeno, for you being new, and Kelly, you've heard me say it before. Callie, you're new. Gold medals and German shepherds is my sales philosophy when it comes to sales. People run fast for 2 reasons. They run fast to either go towards gold medals or to run away from German shepherds. Either way, you see somebody running down the street, you don't know why they're running, but they're running. And everybody and every decision that they make in life is based on a scale of going towards a positive or avoiding a negative. Yep. That's right. You better be running. Either one. You better be running. Now, it's a little bit easier in our business because with face-to-face interactions, we can interact with people, right? The best example of this is beer commercials, right? Back when I grew up, Miller Lite the slogan was great taste, less filling, right? If you want a good taste in beer, a positive, I'm your beer. If you want less filling, I'm your beer. So no matter where you are, I'm the one product for you. Johnson's baby shampoo cleans your hair, no more tears. It's #1 baby shampoo around. Right now, the Mick Ultra is what one less calorie than I think is Miller Lite, right? So they're once again going for you're avoiding a negative, so it's not high calories, and it tastes better than Mick Ultra is what they're saying. Whether you go get a burger, right? You go to a restaurant. Do you get a burger? Or do you get a salad? Do you want a good tasting burger or do you want to avoid the calories? Right? Every decision you make.
Just add lettuce to the burger.
Just add lettuce to the burger. You got a salad. There you go. It's a salad it's a meat salad. But anyway, so think about that in every interaction that we do, either ourselves and especially our clients, their decision process is going to be based on that scale. Am I going towards a positive or avoiding a negative? And if you can put our value proposition, us as a company and you guys specifically as salespeople, into that scale and give them both sides. We provide both. I need to sell it quick and for top dollar, right? Because I'm going to get foreclosed on, whatever the case may be. That's all right. I can help you out. We can do this, this, and this. No matter what your objections are, no matter what your reasoning is, Kala, Sam, Zena, we can meet your positives and negatives. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're interacting with people. And a lot of times, and we all make these decisions every day, right? Did you have a 3rd cup of coffee today? You really wanted it to taste good, but you probably don't need that much caffeine. So you probably don't have a 3rd cup of coffee. Or I'm going to go to the bathroom all day. Like, I mean, that happens constantly. We don't even know about it. So just be cognizant. An underlying sales psyche is people are going towards a positive or avoiding a negative. So let's talk about some objections, some handling of objections. We see a lot of these in our daily routine, right? When we talk objections, when we talk to people, it's very important to have active listening, right? Active listening. You may or may not have heard of that. Active listening is a technique. It's hard to master. Nobody does it well. I don't do it well. And in essence, it is focusing solely on the client or the person in front of you and not being distracted by what's around you, not thinking of a response while they're talking halfway through. You automatically say, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to say. And you're not listening to what they're saying at the end, right? There's a ratio 7:33:55 says communication. 7% of communication is verbal. Only 7% of communication is verbal. 33%, let me make sure I get the right numbers here. 7:38:55. So 7% is verbal, 38 is the tone, and then 55% is body language. That's a study from hundreds of years. I mean, it's the same stats, whether it's hundreds of years ago or today. So 7:38:55. And all of that together, you need to have some good active listening. Because if you don't think somebody's listening to you, if they're tuned out, I get it all the time. I get it all the time. There you go. Rich gets it all the time too. If you're tuned out and people don't think you're listening to them, that whole interaction is null and void, right? Whether that's in a personal relationship with a spouse or a significant other, or whether that's in a client relationship or a business relationship, right? We've all done it. We've all been guilty. Our mind's somewhere else. We're thinking of the next place to be. It's just very important to be present, pay attention, and do the best you can to actively listen. Once they're done talking, then put all that into your mind and figure out, how do I respond? But try not to respond too early. So when we're talking about objections, you're in any interaction, and this is not necessarily sales, kind of like my gold medals German Shepherds. This is across. I mean, we do this all the time. We just don't know we do it. So there are a couple different steps when you are handling objections or talking to people in any day-to-day interaction, right? So listen, acknowledge, explore, and respond, right? So the first thing is you got to listen to them. Back to the active listening. And you're having a conversation with anybody, you got to listen, understand what their side of the situation is, right? Acknowledge it. I get you. Yeah. Nod your head. Say, okay, I'm listening. I hear it. I get it, right? Acknowledge what you're listening to. Then you have to start digging in and explore the concerns of what you just listened to. So they just told you a story. In our business, it's going to be, I'm looking for this, that, the other. I'm moving from Florida. Whatever the case may be, you're listening, and then you start interacting with them and explore. Okay, so why are you moving from Florida? Right? We're trying to build rapport. Here. At the end of the day, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. Period. If they don't know you, like you, or trust you, they're not going to do anything with you. You're not going to. You can't sell them a pizza. You can't sell them a house. Can't sell them a car. People do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. Right now, if they don't know you or like you or trust you, you have 3 strikes against us. So we need to very quickly in this process build rapport so they like us, be friendly, right? Be knowledgeable, and be honest. So but that should be the same in life, right? It's not just about sales or not just about selling houses. But we need to build instant rapport so they know us, like us, and trust us, and then they will allow us to assist them in buying or selling their house. So we're talking, we're exploring, and then once we go back and forth, then we're going to respond with what we think would be a good outcome to be, right? So it's a system. We do it all the time. We just don't know we're doing it all the time. I'll give you another example would be listen, understand, respond, and confirm. Very similar to the first. So you're listening, you're understanding their concerns, their views, responding to them, and then confirming. So what I hear is this. So let me get this straight. You're coming in August, not July. It's showing that we're listening, that we're caring. So what happens is, and I'll give an example. I'll give an example of what would be, right? So you listen. So if somebody says, you know, I hate spiders. I hate spiders, and your logo is a spider on your shirt. I don't want to do business with you because you have a spider on your shirt, and I'm deathly afraid of spiders, right? So you're like, okay, I get it. All right. So I understand you have a spider phobia. Cool. All right. How about next time? How about next time I don't wear this shirt? Right. How about we make sure that, we go to a place where there aren't spiders to meet. I mean, or whatever the case may be, right? You're listening, you're understanding, you're responding, and then you're like, okay, so would that be satisfactory? If next time we come, I'll make sure I don't wear my spider. And they're like, yeah, okay, that's good. Right? You just handle an objection. We do this all the time, every day. We just don't know we're doing it. But typical objections are normally one of four. People don't do things for one of four reasons. Objections, right? Budget, trust, lack of need, lack of budget, lack of trust, lack of need, or lack of urgency, right? Why aren't you doing this, or why are you doing this, right? Lack of budget, lack of trust, lack of need, or lack of urgency. And all those come into our world as well. So lack of budget, right? People can't sell houses or can't fix their houses because they don't have money. So what happens when we go into a house, we need to sell their house and they can't fix it? That's a lack of budget objection. Well, we need to handle it. Right. So what would be some ways that we have handled that in the past? Kelly, you can speak up. Rich, if you want to, chat in, hey, I want to sell my house, but it looks like a dump. I really can't afford it. How do I do this? That's an objection. How do we handle that?
Hold on. There's so many portals to unmute myself.
I know there are a lot of portals.
Hi guys. You got a dump. How do I sell it? Was the question?
Yeah. Well, how do you handle that? That's an objection. We've all heard it. We go into houses for listings and they can't afford staging. They can't afford paint or fix ups. How do we overcome that objection?
Well, easy. You find the positive that's in the house. And then at the end of the day, I'm all about facts. So you talk about the market, especially in our market for the new girls. Honestly, I'm a stager. I believe in staging. I love it, but we're still in a market that it doesn't necessarily need to have it. You just got to give them the facts at the end of the day, and show them the good things that are in their property as well. The highlights that will draw buyers. Where there's good, there's bad. You can't, but it also is like a fine line in real estate for me that you have to be honest, because if you're not honest, it's going to bite you in the butt later. Because either it's going to sit on the market or they're going to be like, why am I getting this negative feedback? It's better to be ahead and let them know what could happen, versus sugarcoating it because you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So we have to be honest all the time in everything we do. Setting expectations, setting proper expectations is very important. When it comes to a budget objection.
Kelly, can you mute yourself on Zoom and only talk to your phone?
There we go. Better. Yep. So a budget objection, and I'm getting feedback too. All right.
You can mute yourself.
Oh yeah. There we go. I'll mute myself. Well, now I'm getting feed. Oh, gee. All right. Let's see. Hang on. We get IT coming over. Let's see if we can. Maybe they can try unmuting again. Let's see if we can hear you through the Zoom now. Nope, they're so both muted. Trying to unmute Kelly and Zena. on the Zoom. See if we can actually hear you now. Because we're getting feedback.
Can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Nope.
I can hear Zena.
Kelly,
So
you can hear me,
a
right?
budget objection, we need to go into a value proposition of a risk reward, right? So we can sell your house as is like this, or we can try and figure out something like that. So it's going to be a value proposition and a risk reward, and then let them decide, give them all the goods and bads of all the different all the different variations, let them decide what's going to be best for them. And, we kind of go that way. We're going to be trying to, I know you do this all the time, Kelly, with staging. You need to convince them that the reward is worth the risk. If you stage, the money you spend, you'll get 3 times that back on the backside. It's a value proposition. Yep. So it's an objection that happens a lot. Now, this is not the main one, right? So most of the time it's easy to overcome this. We would say, all right, we'll just sell it as is. Not a problem. You don't need to paint all your walls to sell this house. I understand you're a little tight on money. It takes a lot of time and effort. I get it. Let me give you another analysis of what your home is like, what your home is worth in today's current condition. And then we can see if that will suffice for what you need to get out of it. If it is enough, great, we'll just sell it as is. You don't need to spend any money. We're good to go. If you need to get more money out of it, then we may need to go to the next level and figure out how can we rearrange some furniture? How can we, tidy up and do. There we go. Maybe I don't put it on speaker. All right, I'm going to take speaker off. Can you ladies both hear me still?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll do it that way. All right. Next, lack of trust. This comes up a little bit more on the front side than on the back side. Lack of trust. Who's Trophy Point Realty Group? Never heard of them. I want to use Remax. I want to use Keller Williams. I want to use my friend down the street. Right. So the lack of trust comes in normally up front, where we need to earn the business and earn the right to have them as a client. Once again, overcoming trust objections is going to be, for us, making sure that we explain to them that we're good at what we do. We're professionals. We've done a lot of these. You don't need a big name in real estate to sell your house, because nobody has sold a house based on name in the street, on the sign. People sell houses with the person who's on the sign, not the company that they're with. So it doesn't matter if you're with Keller Williams, Remax, Century 21, you name it, or if you're with Jim Bob Realty, the agent is going to build rapport with the client, and the client is going to use that agent regardless of the affiliation that they're at, because more homes are sold by small firms than big firms, right? The reason why there are small firms, everybody joined the big firm and they realized, why am I paying all this money to the big firm? Why am I doing that? I can do it on my own. So they get their own brokerage license. They start John Doe Realty, and it's got 3 people or 2 people or 1 person. A lot of these small firms are just a 1-person operation, and they sell just as much as they were when they were paying the big firms desk fees and everything else. So a lack of trust objection is easily overcome by, especially for Zena and Cala, for new folks, use the plural of everything. We, us, our team, right? They're going to say, what have you done? How many houses have you sold? And your response is, our team has sold over 200 houses last year, right? Me and my team, we, us, we're your team. We're going to take care of you. And everything is going to be in that vein until you have enough sales under your own belt to have your own trust built and an own following. And we'll work with you on marketing and stuff like that to try and build that. But right now, as you're new, you don't really, you don't have much to go on. So building trust is going to be a family effort. When I started, I rode the coattails of Rich. And they're like, how many houses have you sold? And I'm like, yeah, we sold over 1,500 houses. And that's good enough for them. Like, they're not like, let me see your sales data. Now, if they do, we would say, yes, we collectively, our team, we did. Me, myself, not so much, but we did. Like I said, be honest. Hey, Micah. So that's the second kind. Third kind. Here are the two things that we can run across a lot: lack of need and lack of urgency. Right? Lack of need. Right? That's a tough one. I don't need anything. I don't need to sell my house. I don't need to buy a house. So that's where, for us, really honing in and trying to figure out how do we overcome these certain objections, right? With lack of need and lack of trust. And we've all run across it. If we haven't run across it, we're going to run across it. So I don't need to sell my house. Why should I list my house, Tucker? I don't need to sell it. You can, if you list it right now, the positive, you can make a lot of money. The market's on fire. Now is the time to sell before rates get even higher.
You don't want to pay taxes. You don't want to deal with the HOA. You want to move to West Virginia and go for it.
This is where, very good. This is where it's not just about the house. A lack of need is about the person and about the environment, right? You can be closer to your grandkids. I know we've been talking for months. Is now the time? Well, summer season's coming, and you can get out of the heat. You can go up to Minnesota. You can be with family, friends, all the things that we have learned. This is why active listening, it all kind of comes together. All the information you glean from that person and that we're going to be putting into active campaign is very important. So number of kids, ages of kids, male, female, parents, spouses, fiance, all the information we can gain on a personal level may be the tipping point. If we get into a lack of need or lack of urgency objection, we can kind of explain to them, here are the pros and cons. Now, we're not trying to talk anybody into anything, right? Our job is to advise. We advise them on their options. Here's what you can do. You can do this, this, and this, or you can do this, this, and this. At the end of the day, it's not my house. It's not my $400,000. It's not my whatever. It's your decision. But most people don't have the knowledge on how to do the analysis to make informed decisions. And most decisions are made uninformed, right? And that's everything, whether that's voting. I mean, how many people go to the ballot box and don't even know anything that's on right? That's an uninformed decision. And they're running our cities and running our countries based on uninformed decisions, right? Whether it's, buying, selling houses, cars, whatever. Now you have some people who do ultimate background, right? I know every flat screen TV that's ever been created for the last 3 years, and I am a fanatic on looking at all the specs. Well, that is an informed decision. Most people go to Best Buy and they're like, "Ooh, that looks pretty good. I'll buy it." So buying a TV for $400 is a little different than buying or selling a house for $400,000. So they need our expertise to help them make informed decisions. But it's not our decision ultimately. We lead them to the watering hole, but we can't make them drink. But knowing them and their background and their situation is going to be vital to overcoming a lack of need or lack of urgency situation. And those were good examples, Tucker. And that's just one of many. We can go on and on and on, and we'll kind of spitball here in a little bit some of these things. But we need to use open-ended questions. When we're talking to people, open-ended questions. Do we know the difference between an open-ended question and a closed-ended question? Seems simple, but you may not know. So a closed-ended question ends in a yes or no. An open-ended question requires them to talk. And the key to talking is let them talk. Rich always says, ask a question and shut up. Don't interrupt them. Let them talk, and they will give you all the answers to the test. Whether it's a client, especially when you're talking to another agent. You got another agent on the line. You're talking to Carrie on the line. Right? Hey, Carrie, it's Cal. I got an offer coming your way. We love the house. Tell me a little bit about it. Shut up. And they will talk. Oh, my client, this, that. They just went into foreclosure. I mean, they're going through a divorce, blah, 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 blah. And you're just letting them talk, right? Active listening. Listen. Take all the notes, jot them down, mental notes, whatever. Oh, speaking of memory, you typically remember only 25 to 50% of the stuff that you hear on average. If you have a higher than 50% memory on things you hear, that is extraordinary. So think of that. Every time you tell somebody something and every time you hear something, you're only going to remember 50%. I guarantee you when we leave, you will remember less than 25% of everything we talked about, which is why we're recording this. And Rich is taking good notes. That's good.
That's why we're gonna have a quiz.
That's we will have a quiz.
And we're gonna have a quiz.
And if you fail the quiz, you're fired. So just joking. I totally lost my train of thought with what I was saying.
Yeah, we're probably not gonna remember.
Before that, I kind of got on a side tangent with 50% of singing like canary. So ask an open-ended question and let them talk. Don't say, "Is your house for sale?" No. Can I show it today? Yes. You want to ask questions like, how many showings have you had so far? Oh, we've had 2 showings. Oh, we've had 20 showings. Depending on what they say is going to be all our information that we need to make an informed decision for ourselves and our clients. So always ask open-ended questions. Every question you ask should not have a yes or no answer. Okay. And that's probably a good just life in general. Having yes and no. Yes.
I just got something quick to add. Something
Please.
I picked up on the last few months is that 38% being tone. Like, I would say it's very, very beneficial to call the other agent before you even write up an offer or talk to your clients.
Yep.
And ask the open-ended questions, but more than that, like, how are they responding to it? Because if it's a very quick, like, oh yeah, we've had a lot of offers well above, then that tells me a lot more than, yeah, some people are talking about it. And so there's a lot of information to be gleaned just from the tone by which they answer those questions.
Absolutely. 7, 38, 55. 7%.
What happened to that last contract? And then you just shut up.
What happened to the last contract? Yep.
Inspection, they'll tell you how they finance.
They will tell you everything. Yep. Now on our end, we don't want to tell them anything, right? Because we don't want to give them the answer to the test. If we're trying to solicit offers, which is our job, and they're like, "What happened to the last inspection?" Right? Don't lie, be honest, but at the same time, be short and concise. Do not sing like a canary. Our tendency is to talk. Mine is, most people, if you're in sales, if you're in this line of business, if you're a people person, you want to talk because that's what you do. That's why you're good. That's why we're good at what we do. We interact very well and you want to build that, but be very careful talking to another agent. We don't want to give them the answers to the test, but we want them to give us the answers to the test. So yeah, like Sam said, just ask open-ended questions. Very important for open-ended questions. And you'd be amazed. I mean, I've had agents tell me the offers that they've had, the highest offer. I've had them tell me what it's going to take to win the offer. I've had them tell me about divorces, bankruptcies, foreclosures, deaths in families. I've had them tell me about everything. And I just sit and listen. Yep. And then when it becomes quiet and uncomfortable, take a few more seconds and still don't say anything. Right? Gather it all. Normally they'll continue talking because people don't like uncomfortable silences. Right? They're not going to hang up on you. They're not going to walk out the door if you have a quick second. I mean, if you leave a second or two, if you leave a couple seconds of silence, nothing's going to happen. But they're going to want to fill that void by just talking. So let them talk. Back to the active listening. Let them talk. So you're taking it all in. Then you can respond. Think what your response is going to be, and then listen. And a lot of times in that initial salvo of just blah that they give you, they're going to list their objections. You're going to know their objections before they really revealed what their objection might be. So if you can head it off at the pass, right? If you're active listening and you're understanding what their situation is, you can then bring them a solution and advice before they even know it. And you have just built rapport and trust. So once again, like, know, and trust. You've just built trust because this guy gets me. This girl gets me. She's been there. And we can all build trust with our experiences. So Zena, whether we have a huge, it's easy in this town to build rapport with military, right? If you're in the military, most people know military, they like to work with military. As soon as you say that connection, boom, you've instantly built trust. Because if you've been in and I'm in, we're good. There's your trust. Then you have to say, well, you don't know me, but you're getting to know me right now. Let it be some personal information, right? Every interaction that you're talking about, active listening. You have a dog. I love dogs. We work with Renegade Pet Rescue. You work with Renegade Rescue? I just adopted my dog from Renegade Pet Rescue. How awesome is that? All of a sudden, they now know you. They know who you are, what you stand for, and then you just need to make them like you. Don't be a dick. Be a nice person. Like, certain people at the table set aside, but don't be a dick. That needs to be on the bottom of your business card. Don't be a dick. But it's really not that hard to connect with people and build a quick rapport. Listen, build a quick rapport, get them to like you, get them to know you, and then they will do business with you, right? So lack of need, and then lack of urgency. A lot of people, I don't need to sell, or I have nowhere to go. Now, it's very important one of the questions I always ask is, if we sell your house today, where are you going to go? And if they don't know where they're going to go, do not sell their house. Just the right thing to do. People I've run across many times, or I've talked to people, they're like, my house is under contract, but I have no idea where I'm going to go. And my first thought is, shame on your agent for pushing you into selling your house before you don't know where to go. Now you're going to be homeless, right? So sales and our job in real estate is not about making money. Making money is a result, in my mind, of doing the right thing, right? Treating people right, doing the right thing, putting their interest ahead of ours, having a good process. The result will come if the process is good. Now, there are two types of people. Oh, okay, Sean, hang on. We got Sean. Let me add Sean here. Hang on. Calling Sean, everybody. Yeah. Or maybe we won't have Sean. All right. Oh. No Sean. All right. I don't know. We'll just keep driving on. So lack of urgency. Yeah, that's another. There are lots of objections that we handle every day, but having the same process is very important to me. Like, I'm a process-oriented person. You can either be a results-oriented person or a process-oriented person. And there's no right or wrong either way. Whether you are one or another, my wife is a results-oriented process. A results-oriented person. If you take 3 weeks to plan something and it rains that day, that is a failure because it rained that day. And you did not get to go to the beach. Me, I'm like, hey, I did everything right. It's not my fault that the weather. I was thoughtful. I did the right thing. I did all my planning. The fact that the weather did not cooperate does not make it a failure in my mind, because I followed the process. So I look at real estate the same way. If you're doing the right thing, buy your people. The money that comes is going to be a result of you doing the right thing. You're not doing it for the money, because then you start with your ethics and your morals and your values getting tweaked. Instead of doing the right thing, if you need that paycheck, you'd be like, well, maybe I tell them this or that because I really need a paycheck, and it might not be in their best interest, right? And a lot of realtors are in that situation where they're paycheck to paycheck, week to week, month to month, and their ethics and morals get kind of wayward because they're trying to cash a paycheck, and that's not the right thing to do, and that's not how we do it here. All right, we're going to add Sean to the call here. Let me try again. Adding Sean again. Hang on. Let's see. Hey, Sean, I'm going to add you to the call here. All right, Sean's on. Hey, Sean, welcome.
Hey, yeah, sorry, my calendar invite has this crossed out, so I don't know what I did to it.
That's all right. That's all right. We're recording this. You can you just listen on for the second half here. Doing some sales training here. So overcoming objections. Got to listen to them, acknowledge them, respond to them, confirm everything, and it's a cycle, right? You'll have one objection. Normally there are multiple objections. You'll have one objection, you'll handle it, and then another one will pop up. And then another one will pop up. And it's not uncommon to have 3, 4, or 5 objections to why they can't do what we're seeing if they can do, right? Well, my house is dirty. I got dogs here. I got in-laws coming in. The neighborhood's not that great. I don't think I want to sell this house. All right, no problem. We can handle this. Let's break it down. I hear you. I understand what you're talking about. So you have dogs here. That's okay. Lots of people have dogs. I love dogs. We can figure out a way. During showings, we can put them in a crate, maybe take them for a walk. I'll take your dogs for a walk. I'll take your dogs for a walk during showings. Boom. That one's done. All right. Your in-laws are coming. Now your in-laws coming. Maybe we want to wait till your in-laws are gone before we show your house. That's a fair one. Right. But anything you listen are, you have to kind of deal with them. Never dismiss their objections. Even if we don't think they're right or valid, they are to them. Right? In their mind, their reality is, if I've got a dog, I can't sell my house. And we'll think that's an easy fix. Don't worry about that. Like, we can't dismiss an objection no matter how small, because that's just not the right way to go about it. Listen, understand it, work through it, follow the process, come to a resolution, and then follow back up and say, so would that work? So if I came over 5 minutes before the showings, took your dogs out, would that be okay with you? Yep. All right, perfect. Let's do that then. You did, yes.
You mentioned smoke screens. So I feel like a lot of those, like some of the objectives that might not seem like a big deal to us,
Yep.
could be completely legit in their eyes,
Yep.
or they could be like smoke screens.
Yes.
How do you go about differentiating?
So the best way to differentiate, great question, would be the 4 biggest objections are what I just said: budget, trust, need, and urgency. Right? Those 4 are really the reason why people do or don't do things. All the other stuff is kind of a smokescreen. Like, having dogs has nothing to do with urgency or a need or trust or a budget. Right? That's a secondary. That's a smokescreen. That's an easy way to get out. And it's our job, if we're representing our clients, to not just take a first no and say, oh, I'm sorry, you got dogs, can't list your house. Thanks for the meeting. And you walk out the door. Like, that's not what we do. So if it's not one of those base 4, it's probably not the real reason why they're not able to do what they want to do. So that's a great reason. Great thing. Adding, going to circle back a little bit to adding validity and building rapport, right? Like trust, or like know and trust, right? Everybody has something they can connect with other people for, whether it's, previous jobs, previous experiences, where you used to live. You're from Kansas. I'm from Kansas. I mean, there are a lot of people from Ohio here. When I hear they're from Ohio or a Michigan Wolverine fan, I'm like, there's my connection. You had a connection pastor, right? Called an agent. Calla called an agent, and lo and behold, she knows him. Talked 15 minutes, shooting the shit, catching up, building rapport. Because if you can build a relationship with the other agent, they're probably going to want to work with you versus another agent that might not be, they might not know. We deal with it all the time with lending. Well, the lenders came in earlier this week, right? Zach and Judy came in on Monday, and we talked about the importance of doing business with, lenders that and trust, and that they know and trust you, and things will get done. Same thing's going to happen, here. Build those relationships. And a lot of the objections, they're going to want like hard facts and hard evidence, proof. They want proof that they're not, because if they don't know you and trust you, they're not going to take your word for it. So you're going to have to be talking to them in terms of experience. You know what? We sold one of those last week, right down the street.
And he had a dog.
And he had a dog. There you go. Yep. Your neighbor 3 doors down. We just listed that. It sold in 3 days. And he had a dog. Took him out for a walk down to that park. See that park right there? My grandpa used to always do this. I love it. And as I get older, I'm going to start using this, right? He would tell a story and he would say, and this is the shirt I was wearing when it happened, right? No matter what the shirt was, what the story was. Because when you're right there and you have solid evidence that this is the shirt, when I spoke with the Dalai Lama, this is the shirt I was wearing, it adds validity, it adds proof, right? So whether it's a made up story like my grandpa used to make, or in our job, it's going to be real world facts. Hey, I sell a ton of stuff on the South Side. I sold my best friend a house down there and he made 6 figures on it. There you go.
Tell my place to be.
He took a loss for 6 figures,
There you go.
right? But any of that stuff in the objection handling, so we're actively listening. We're repeating back what we hear. Yep, I hear you. You're nodding. You're in it there. You're validating. You're acknowledging and validating their concerns. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Dogs are a big thing. I wouldn't want to get bit by a dog. I wouldn't, whatever the case may be. Validate it. You're interacting. You're engaging. You're asking follow-up questions. Then you're going to leverage the proof. Here's where hey, I was that. I did that. We sold this. I'm from there. They want solid proof to know that you're going to take care of them, because this is a big decision to buy or sell a house. Then you're going to be setting a time for follow-up. Back to the sales cycle, follow-up, set expectations. Got to follow up and set those expectations. What questions so far? I'm going through some notes here. What questions do we have on anything we've covered so far? Nothing? Okay. So I'm going to go into a couple little things and Rich is going to chime in too. Some little tidbits of some things, whether it be objection handling or just sales in general with his years of knowledge. So I just jotted a few things down. It's going to kind of jump all over the place. Empathy, right? We got to try and put ourselves in their shoes. I've been there. I've done that. I've sold a house. I know I'm a first-time home buyer. Great objection. I'm a first-time home buyer and scared. I don't know what questions to ask. Absolutely. Acknowledge it. I understand. Everybody's been a first-time home buyer. I was a first-time home buyer at one point. Everybody here has been a first-time home buyer. I've been there. Let's do this together. We will make sure you don't fail. You don't know all the questions you're going to need to ask, but me and my team, we do this for profession. We do this for a living. We will hold your hand the whole way and make sure that you are informed and have, you can make informed decisions, whatever that might be, right? Just put all that up front, be proactive, and put those objections to rest. But listening, feeling it, and I can't underestimate the importance of active listening and being present in a conversation, and then try and, when it's your turn to talk, get back into it with an example of yourself, right? Whatever you heard, try and connect it to that. There will be a point in the sales process, and if Kelly, you've heard it with me a lot. You transition if you've earning the business, always, the closing part. How do you know if you've earned the business? So you listen, you set a meeting, you're eating lunch, you're talking, you're understanding, you're interacting. At what point do you, the more you do it, the more you'll learn. Like there's a point at which it kind of shifts and you're like, oh, well, we got a low battery coming in. We have a charger.
What paperwork do you need to sign?
Yep. So
I'm ready to go.
there's a point at which You'll know if you've earned the business by your interaction, and your conversation is going to go from you to us, right? It's your house. Thank you for, you start the conversation. Thank you for coming. Thank you for allowing me in your house. You have a this, you have a that. You're talking about everything. And at some point, you're going to, if, let's see, battery is low. You'll transition that conversation to, okay, what do we need to do?
Mike-ish.
All right, let's sell our house. We, us, the plural. And that's an important, and Kelly, I mean, you see me do that a couple times. And then they get buy-in and then they start nodding, right? Then once you start, they're then acknowledging you by saying, yeah, okay, let's do this. When can we do pictures? When can we this? When can we that? And then they start talking in the plural. That's kind of a little skill that you'll learn over time, but you'll know if you've earned the business, right? If you have not, like in the pit of your stomach, you'll be like, I know I'm telling this right. I'm getting the feedback. And that's when you need to ask them for the business, right? If you don't ask for the business, if you spend an hour with them at lunch and you're talking, and you say, thanks for meeting, and you walk away, you just wasted $30 on lunch, right? And you don't need to necessarily get a commitment at that meeting. Now, the more you do it, the more you might get commitments on the first meeting. If you don't get a commitment on the first meeting, set a follow-up. Hey, I think we need some more time, or you need some more time to think about this. How about we get back together mid next week? When's good? And set an appointment. Get on the calendar. So you have lunch today on Thursday. I know you need to talk it over with your wife or your husband. Would love to get back together. How about Monday? Let's meet for coffee on Monday. How's 10 o'clock work? Set the appointment, be at the appointment, and follow up if you don't have commitment. If you do get commitment, stop, and I don't want to say you're done, but don't talk yourself out of a commitment. We've all done it where they're like, hey, that's great. I'd love to have you sell my house. And you say, perfect. Thank you so much, because I just, the market's going to be tanking pretty soon. And, I know the neighborhood's really changing. And they're like, wait a second, maybe I don't want to. Like, if they have commitment, don't talk yourself out of a commitment. Just, you're done. Sign the paperwork. If they're like, let's do it, great. I'll have Emily write us some paperwork. We can do it electronically, and just change the subject completely. Stop talking about everything you were just talking about and just completely stop. And I mean, Emily's heard it here in the office a lot. When I talk to clients, I'll talk to clients, give them good news, bad news, whatever. And as soon as that is wrapped up with a bow, hey, how's the weather over where you're at? Where you're at, over in Poland? How's the weather over there? Is there snowing? It doesn't snow in May over there, does it? Like, totally change the subject. Do not stay on real estate. Don't give them a chance to linger and change their mind. Which kind of sounds bad, but like, it's not, because we're advising them on how to proceed. They have commitment, buy-in, just be done. Talked about setting the appointment. They need to know that we always have their best interest at heart, not ours. Back to the process, right? You don't want to work with anybody disingenuous, right? You got it. They got to know it. You got to know it. Something that Rich says all the time, anytime you're trying to have a buyer buy a house, you always have to look at that like you have to sell it in 6 months, right? Life happens. This is my dream house. It's next to a cemetery and a train track, but I love it. I'm never moving. I'm going to bid whatever it takes to buy this house. I can't sell you this house. No, because what happens in 6 months if life happens and you're calling me up to sell this house? I cannot sell this house for you in 6 months. And if I can't sell this house for you in 6 months when you call me to list it, we probably need to look at another house. No matter how confident you are that you're never moving. How many people who have moved have said they're never moving? Like, yeah, I mean, it just happens. See what else here. Don't be afraid to succeed. Everybody always says, don't be afraid to fail, right? I always say, don't be afraid to succeed. There's two ways of looking at everything: going towards the positive or avoiding the negative. right? If you're trying to avoid failure, you inherently are avoiding a negative, right?